Good morning, good morning. I'll tell you what, these nerves are really starting to set in, like, overnight. This is the second night in a row that I've had some type of dream that involves performing in some way, shape, or form, and it doesn't go as planned. So in this dream, I remember it very well, so I thought I would share. I was in a production of Addams Family, actually, and I had been cast as Wednesday, who I love that role so much. But for some reason, like, I got the role because I was like one of the only people who auditioned for the role, and I was told while we were like in rehearsals, I was told, like, early rehearsals, they were like, oh yeah, actually, we posted about it again, and someone who's worked with us before wants to come and audition for Wednesday. And they were like, so basically we're gonna have to like see like who's a better fit. And I was like, well, do I get to do, because I hadn't been able to like do a callback, like they had just cast me from the audition. So similar to how this audition is, where like I'm singing 60 seconds of any song, like I didn't get a callback to like sing songs from the show. And so I was like, well, can I do like a callback or something, so at least you guys can see like how I sing and perform the actual character? And they were like, oh, we'll see. But then we were in rehearsals for some sort of scene that does not exist in the actual show. But the point of the scene was, or the point of what was happening was that we were being directed to do things that people were not comfortable with. They were like, this doesn't really make sense, like this is not appropriate for this show, and like I'm not comfortable doing that. And so I went up to the director or whoever was in charge, and I was like, listen, you know how much this role means to me, but I cannot stand by and let this happen. Like, let me work with everyone if you're okay with it, and we can get something similar that you want, but what everyone's comfortable with. And so I don't really know how they responded, but I was doing it anyway, right? Like, I was like going around and being like, okay, like I was writing, I remember this so clearly. I was writing people's names down and like what they were comfortable, like I was letting them come up with the ideas of like what they would like to do during that scene. And that was when, like, in the dream, like, we were no longer in, like, a rehearsal space. Like, when we were running through it, it was, like, I was, like, a movie set. It was weird. But anyway, so, very weird dream. But, yeah, the nerves are definitely coming out. And I still have not decided what section of the song I'm doing, because now that I have not practiced for 4 days, you know, my voice is definitely better than where it was when I started, but I need to build it back up. Again. On another note, I'm really excited because the next book on my random generator is called Wink Poppy Midnight, and it's written by the same woman who wrote that, or put together that list of, like, horror stories. It's like the anthology, like, one, and it was so good, and it's on my want to adapt shelf because it would make an amazing anthology series. So I have I have extra high hopes because I've read this author before, or at least because she wrote one of the stories. I don't know which one, but she put it together too, and that's talent. Of course, though, the one time I go to try to find my beanie, oh, little cat, 2 little cats. I go to find my beanie, I can't find it because I wasn't gonna put my hair up, and I really wanted something on my head, but it doesn't look like that's gonna happen today. I don't know where it is. I cannot find it, which is stressful because I haven't worn it for a while because I've always had my hair up at work, or like up in a high ponytail without the beanie. So I don't really know. It has to be, once again, it has to be in the house somewhere. I was even up earlier and I should have looked for it, but I didn't because I thought I knew where it was, but I don't really know where I thought that was. I'm home from church. I was singing in the car on the way home, and I am kicking myself because I am not a patient person. So I don't like warming up my voice because, I don't know, to me it's just annoying that I can't just like sing, but that's not how stuff works. And so, I mean, it's fine. It's not like my voice is hurt at all, but I could definitely tell, not like my voice itself actually, but like my neck, like the muscles in my neck almost like are a little sore. And that's not good. Like, that's just precisely why I need to not just sing. I need to warm up, especially since the audition is in so few days. I really need to spend a lot of time genuinely warming up. I don't really have a good, like, warm-up routine, which also is hard because I wish someone could just tell me how to warm up, but different stuff works for different people, so you kind of can't just do that. Anyway, yeah, but anyway, so yeah, I'm gonna go after work. I'm gonna go to Barnes & Noble because I have zero self-control, but they have their 50% off hardcovers event, and it's until, like, September 3rd or 9th or something that it goes until, but I'm gonna go now because if I do happen to get into the show, things are gonna get crazy. So, yeah, anyway, just gotta, I don't know, there's so many exciting things this week, but as I said, I'm not a patient person, so it's like having to take things like a little bit at a time, or being like, it's not Wednesday yet, but it will be Wednesday before I know it, because these past 2 weeks have flown by. So I've made it to Barnes & Noble. It is 7:04. They close at 8. I forgot a mask, which I'm mad at myself for because COVID cases are rising, and I told myself I would start wearing it out places, but I forgot. I'll tell you what though, I am tired, but I think I'm tired because I've worked 3 days in a row of 8 hours, and one of them was until midnight. But I wasn't tired when I left the house. I think it's because I've got a bit of anxiety going on right now. I took a theanine, but I'm waiting for it to, like, kick in. So I think that's actually why, because I literally left the house and was completely fine. And then the anxiety kicked in, and then I was, like, kind of tired. So I think they're tired.
I will tell you what, I am struggling with food tonight. Oh my gosh. I hate when this happens. And it's unfortunately not something I can help, because it goes back to that whole interoception thing. As I said, when I went to Barnes & Noble, I was feeling a little bit anxious because I guess I hadn't recognized that I was hungry while I was working, so I did eat something before I left the house, but by that point, my brain was no longer focused on work, and it was like, whoa, we are, like, hungry, and that food you just ate hasn't digested yet, so, like, whoa. Anyway, so I had that, but then since that was going on, I didn't stop and get dinner where I was planning to, because I was like, my brain is like, absolutely not. Even if you don't eat it right now, that's a no. And so I was like, all right. So I came back home and I started reading a book that's really good. And it is now, it is now 10:19 at night. So I've been home for probably about 2.5 hours, a little bit more. And once again, I wasn't really hungry when I got home, or I knew I was going to be hungry, but I wasn't at the point where I could eat yet, right? So I sat down and I started reading this book, and I got more into it than I expected to, and I ended up getting up, once again, oh my gosh, this watch is so annoying. I ended up getting up because I was like, oh, let me go pull an Uncrustables out and let it thaw. And I swear to you, I stood up and my body was like, oh my God, forgot to tell you, you're starving. Like, you have, we talk about it at work actually all the time, because Asia struggles with it too. The whole interoception thing, because you almost get, and I know a lot of people who don't struggle with interoception, but if you're ever like really, really hungry and you aren't able to eat something, at some point your brain or your body is almost like, I don't want to say nauseous, but it's not clearly hunger. And you're like, what is going on? And I swear, I stood up and I was sitting down totally fine. I stood up and I was like, whoa. I was like, we are in trouble. I was like, we are immediately in a danger zone. And so thankfully I grabbed some other snacks that I have, like peanut butter crackers. And I was like, you are going to eat these. I was like, you are going to eat these right now. I was like, before your brain can tell you otherwise, you're going to eat them. You're going to eat them right now. While the sandwich, like, thaws out. But, like, geez, it's been a struggle.
It is 12:08. I have literally been so sucked into this book. It's very good. But I cannot find my beanie at all. I have not worn it in many days because I'll probably have to watch back in the vlog. but I haven't worn it to work. The only time I can remember wearing it to work last was when I wore it for the filming day, but I'm pretty sure, I don't think I wore it during the interview portion, but I wouldn't have taken it off. Yeah, anyway, so send me some good vibes if you're willing to. It sounds dumb for a beanie, but you all know how much I love that thing, so it's gotta be here somewhere, I don't know where. So, thank you so much for watching, hope you enjoyed. Social media is in the description of you all.